Hello everyone, this is Game Collector, and you probably recognize both of these guys already, or not. You might recognize him, but you might not because he was on 2 weeks ago and considering, well, stuff, whatever. Right now, we're going to do something a little, well, no, nothing different or special. We're going to take him apart and give him parts leprosy in the worst way possible, and then attach his body parts onto him after he goes through some parts leprosy himself. So let's get started with Optimus Prime. Take this entire chest chunk off. And I actually figured out how to use these, so, you know, reconnect them together a bit. Leave this like so. Going to want to disconnect these shoulders and the hands and the legs and just turn him into the little tiny stumpy robot. Oh, without the head sticking up. You want the head to be still in his neck. Okay, now, all of these parts will still be useful, so fold up, and turn inward. I prefer to leave them hanging down. These, let's see, okay. Well, forgot to fold in the thumbs. Gonna want to do that. Connect to here. And here, and these will, be set off to the side for now, but they'll still be useful later. And then you just have this little stumpy thing. Now to give leprosy to Ultra Magnus by ripping his arms off. Connect his hand onto Optimus Prime's hand on the opposite side. So his palm covers, the thumb goes into his hand, like so. Flip this around, and you now have an absolutely enormous robot hand. And then you do the exact same thing over here. Might as well just do the whole flip around thing now. And plug in. Plug in some more. And there, now you have two gigantic robot hands. I wonder what this could be. It's no secret, really. Then proceed to rip off his legs and fold these stumps back in, but, it doesn't really matter. Just fold all this crap away. As Ultra Magnus is being gutted for parts for Optimus Prime to wear as his latest power mushroom. Did I just say that out loud? So now you leave that horribly malformed piece over there. Do more parts origami up here, but make sure that this is sticking out. And this giant thing is also folded out, and this part is folded back. And you have a gigantic boot, which will just plug right into his leg, right there. This folds over and won't be held in place very securely at all. I mean that. And I have to sneeze. Or not. I hate when that happens. That's okay. We're just going to do the same thing over here. Parts origami! Whee! This isn't as fun as it sounds. Whoop. And here's the other boot, which will, you know, attach to the other leg, and again, like its partner, won't do it very securely. At least the leg actually, at least the foot stays plugged into the leg. Or stays plugged into the boot. And there, now he has a gigantic height boost. Sort of. Now, remember these? These can plug in right here and right here. And there! Now the legs are actually finished. And, you know, really weighted, and probably won't be of any use. So now we're going to take what used to be Ultra Magnus, what's left of him, split these apart again so they can, you know, properly form. Rotate his head back around, I think. Nope. These parts will go there for now. Rotate the head. Okay, there. Gave me a bit of difficulty, but it's solved now. These will fold right up. And honestly, I probably should have started with this piece first and then just started slapping the limbs on later. Okay, these will go here. And because this guy is going to be so huge, these little things, not a very impressive wingspan. That's what these things are for. Let's see if I remember how to do this. It's been a long time, and, you know, doing it off camera kind of helps. Because if you saw all those parts flopping around, you'd understand why. Okay. Nope, that ain't gonna work. Maybe it will. Yep! So that's one. And here comes the other. There's two. And there's the gigantic wingspan that he'll be sporting. Now, there are electronics in this thing, which means I'm going to have to connect it to Optimus Prime in just the right way to make the electronics work. So, please bear with me. Please. I know you have in the past, and it can get really, really hard. But please, just bear with me. Okay. I hope that does it. Now that he's laying on his rump with all of the parts attached and falling apart and probably barely going to be standing. Please meet Omega Prime. Yeah, if you heard that, that means all the parts are... Yep, that means everything was done properly. Let's add a little bit of... Okay, so that little light is supposed to make his eyes light up. So, you know, if you're not seeing it, I can't... Ah, there it goes. You saw it that time. Yeah, I can't really blame you if you didn't see it. It's kind of dumb to put a red LED inside of a red head. Now, here's with the flaps extended like it's supposed to look. Considering the age, I either leave them like this, or you can go for like a classic pseudo-Optimus cab chest look and do that. Now, there's a reason why he's called, in Japan, he's called Godfire Convoy, and God Magnus is called that for a reason. He's the power-up mushroom. He always was, he's always meant to be. But this is actually quite similar to the Apex Bomber, or God Bomber, for God Jinrai. Oh yes, and this thing, this hole here, can plug into a hole here, or over here. So he can have this absolutely gigantic arm cannon thing. Ah, and my God, he is back heavy. Yeah, if this thing doesn't want to go on, I'm not going to force it. Pop out the missiles, though, and, you know, attach it to the one arm, just to show you the full armor thing. And because, yeah, you can tell how he's tilting backwards. I hate this guy. I hate him. He's fine. You don't want to stay connected? Don't stay connected at all. Jesus. This guy is the least cooperative of all of my Transformers, and I mean that with a searing hatred for him. He is really great to look at, and I'm sure if you had this toy when you were a kid, oh my God, it's so awesome, Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus Super Robot. It's like, yeah, it looks good, and then you realize how stupid it is when it falls under, when it falls over under its own weight and breaks in all of its pieces. And that's happened more than once already. So normally, I'm just doing this to show him off. He has most of Optimus's, you know, articulation, if you can even call it that, because he doesn't want to stand up. Let's see if I can plug this thing in and it'll work. Okay, here's the hoping. And there it is. Now, let's see if I can get him in full arms mode. And that actually pulls it off a bit to one side. There you go! And abruptly it falls off just as quick as it goes on. Let's see if I can turn the camera just a little bit. There he is! Kind of leaning back. Badly. Let's see if I can, you know, increase the height on this thing. Give you guys a better look at it. Here's the hoping. As the camera suddenly decides to not face the toy. Sorry about that. Sorry about this, guys. And there. Absolutely avoiding looking at it at all times. Thank you, camera. Well, it's not as good, but it's better. Considering how he's trying to topple over under his own goddamn weight because the toy designers in Japan had no idea what the hell they were doing when they decided to just cobble a whole bunch of parts together. Sure, he looks really awesome, but then when you really look at him, you realize how this toy is not meant to be at all. Hi. Let's just see if that... Wow, this is the longest time that this thing has decided to stay connected altogether. Now, little Easter egg of sorts, if you can actually manage to get him on a flat surface, and, you know, not have that happen, you roll the feet under, and you can give him roller skates. And he can actually roll on a flat surface like this. Granted, it does help. No, never mind. It does absolutely nothing to help with his balance, because all of his weight is back here! Yeah, I'm probably being really super critical on this toy, because aside from being good looking, and that's about it, he's terrible. He's nothing but a display piece. And that's it. And it's a real shame, considering this is a combination between both Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus, and it shouldn't just be a display piece. This should be a really awesome action figure, and it's not. Technically, all of these Optimus parts shouldn't be on there, but they really don't change anything about his weight issues. Because it's all Ultra Magnus's backpack, which is where all the electronics are stored. And it makes him fall over. Like he just got shot. See, look at this. Pew! There! Technically, I don't even need to do anything. It's like he's always in trust fall mode. But I suppose that's enough ranting about something that's impossible by the current laws of physics. I mean, until we discover how to make gravity work backwards, or, you know, how to disable it entirely, this toy is going to be less than perfect in every way. You know, especially how it's less than fantastic already. So, with that being said, this is Game Collector, and you're probably going to see more RID next week. And one's not so prone to fall over backwards on their own accord. Well, at least he can sit up. Later.